Well, hello everyone, hello. I've been spending my Patreon money like crazy. I got a Zissou case to hold the multicasa and friends for my the small rhythm box. And let me turn this up on the mixer here. That's multicasa. And here comes the other part. I've got a Doper A160-2 clock divider because it's got toggle switches to do powers of 2 or 2 through just integers 2 through 8 or prime number divisions. And you can flip the other toggle switch to have it send out trigger pulses the same length as the incoming clock, or long gate divisions like an old-fashioned clock divider, or the opposite of the clock pulse length, which is really interesting. So I got a different clock divider to do more interesting sort of polyrhythms with, and it's currently set to integers. Still using Mengshi split in here to send one of the triggers, the main clock, out to other destinations. I've got Make Noise LXD is in there now. Bastelski's Noise Square is generating all of the non-casa percussion that you're hearing. I put the WMD SSF MMF filter in there and the SPO so that I could control some of that CV. Make Noise Ears is in here acting as an envelope follower, and it's listening to the lowest bassy bass drum part coming from multicasa, because each part has an individual out as well as the mix out. And then I have some Pulp Logic tiles, as well as a Synthrotech stereo output mixer, which I bought as a kit and assembled. That was a little trickier than my last project, because the circuit board is this really close quarters. And I was afraid I fried the pots because my soldering iron, well, that's a long story, but it's working, so that's a plus. I've got the Pulp Logic audio mixer, which is AC coupled, and then they mix B here. It looks exactly the same, but it's DC coupled, so I could mix CV as well as audio if I wanted to. That one is not in use at the moment. Up there at the top is a cyclic skew, which is just a function generator. It can be triggered, or you can set it to run as an LFO, and there is a rate knob and a shape knob, which takes it from sawtooth to triangle to reverse sawtooth. And then over here I've got an XOR tile, which I'm using to combine two of the beats that are emerging from the clock divider. Down here in this pod that the percussion section used to be in, I've got an Analogue Solutions Treadstone. The sequencer on this thing's really interesting. It has a MIDI input, which I've disconnected because I'm running the sequencer instead. But it records the last 16 MIDI events in a buffer, and when you send a clock signal to the sequence clock input, then it starts playing. And this is it's a full synth voice with VCO, single oscillator, triangle wave, square wave, a sub oscillator that you can switch in. There's a noise source, pretty good filter. Which can be controlled by the envelope generator. And then in this box to fill the space, I put in a couple of things. The Dope for A196 PLL is in here. I messed with that a little bit, thinking that I could combine it with the Treadstone, but it wasn't sounding good, so I probably will swap that out with something else. And then I have Threshold, which is mutable edges clone, and it's doing this. Two of the voices are just bleeping, receiving triggers from the clock div. And then these two voices I'm controlling with the key step. There you go. This is what I've got set up here on the floor right now. Still a work in progress. I'm not 100% sold on these things being in the case with the Treadstone. I do kind of like those little bleeps, but the PLL is not useful here, so I'll move that. Anyway, that's what I've been spending my ill-gotten gains from Patreon on this month. Thanks you guys for watching. If you want to help with this vast money squandering project, you can go over there and look. It's mostly furry cartoons. I have music posted on Bandcamp, and there's also a Ko-fi page where you can just give me money for no reason. But why would you do that? Anyhow, thanks y'all for watching, and I'll catch you next time.